Well, I think it's live. Yep, so we are. Hello, hello. It's Gemma G here, tuning in, sharing what I find incredibly exciting things along the way of the PhD journey of integrative medicine. And you might have heard me speak about this before. I'm incredibly excited not just about what it can do in terms of restoring health for people, but in fact, when you get this understanding about how you can access the field and manifest a reality that you desire. Now that's got me interested. So holla those who are jumping on. I love it when you do. Today I'm going to tidy up a little bit about the Taoist medicine approach and its relation to quantum physics and what they call the light circulatory system. Because after all, you and I are nothing but light bodies. If you've caught it at the beginning, our basic cell, okay, let me wind it back a bit. If you want to understand a system or an organism on the whole, then if you understand it at the basic level, the most basic level, which is our cell, then you will be able to understand the system. So we emit biophotonic particles, and that is an indication of the health of a system. So we do have our own light field, our auric system, that we all generate a electromagnetic signal and emit a certain amount of light. So the light circulatory system is something that's probably been studied more in the ancient wisdoms and has less acknowledgement in our more modern society. However, you will not be able to fully integrate holistic medicine or holistic practices without acknowledging that. So here we go. Let me recap a little bit so that I know that you're on board with me. So we're not just surrounded by energy and vibration. I speak about it all the time. Everything has a vibration. Everything is a vibration. All of your cells oscillate or vibrate at a certain speed. How your information is communicated through your own physical body is done through vibration alone. Hard to believe, I know. However, this is true. This is the way that we are as beings. Go a little bit further than that, nothing even really is real. We're more nothing than we are something. So we could then say we are simply projections in this reality, which is certainly a perception that many of the modern sciences are taking, which is exciting. So I always say, what do you want in your reality? Because this is just a simulated reality. You can create whatever it is that you want. But how? That's what I'm figuring out. And I'm pretty sure I've got the formula for it. So we're not just surrounded by energy and vibration. We are energy and vibration. And according to quantum physics, which is the newer physics, it's not that, I'll say it again, it's not that it's just this new idea that's popped into our society's existence. It's always been there. We just have a much better and deeper understanding of how our realm operates and the universe as we know it. Because it is not, there's more to this existence than what we are experiencing currently. So, according to quantum physics, matter is mostly composed of space that contains subatomic particles and waves, and they influence each other through mysterious forces of repulsion and attraction, and that's in the invisible realm, and it's within that invisible realm that all possibilities exist. And when you go even further to those subatomic particles, they are in fact just energy vortices themselves. So think about, say for example, a tornado. The only reason you would see a tornado coming is because it's picked up the dust particles. Other than that, you wouldn't see it. You would feel it, you would sense it for sure, but you may not necessarily see it. So think of like energy vortices as a tornado, and it's how the collection of those energy vortices are arranged and within the waveforms is how that then manifests as a thing into existence, shall we say. So there's some things to consider. These energy fields, they interact, and they interact even over a distance. So, and that the field of energy, it's multi-dimensional. There's so many different layers to it. And this is where I've found through my digging in the medical health realm is that, you know, there's more to our health and wellness than the physical body, and what's manifesting externally in terms of what we can see in physical ailments is really a representation of what's happening internally. So health is not an outside job, it's an inside job. And as I've mentioned, you can take that one step further into the reality that you would like to experience while you're here. So intention is everything. So you can influence this energy, this invisible field, this realm that we exist in, that we're all connected through. You can access it and influence it through balancing chakra systems, which is something I'm doing with my classes that I'm starting to do again and host again here in Auckland. So if you're in Auckland, please stop by, because I think you're going to find them pretty impactful. So through the chakra systems, through meditative techniques, acupuncture, for example, vibrational medicine, there's many different ways of raising one's vibe. And it's once you raise those vibes, you're able to start then influence and accessing this multi-dimensional layer of energy field that exists, which is only information. And so the patterns of the energy in the body is the other thing to consider, is that these patterns of energy in the body, they will manifest as physical dis-ease. All right, so we have hold a lot of power over our future and our future existence or wellness as we move forward, because the energy patterns, certain areas within that auric field, once they've become incoherent, because they're linked to the body's physiological processes that occur, then you can start seeing those being knocked out of optimal function, and that's when we start getting manifestation of poor health. So energy responds to intention. So anything that you're doing, I talked about this yesterday, anything that you are doing and whatever you're trying to create, whether it's an interaction or a conversation or passing by, our intention as we interact through, whether it's through the cyberspace or whether it's through actual physical connections, the intention holds massive amounts of power. So hopefully that's turning your crank as much as mine. Okay, so we need to restore balance and maintain energy within this multi-dimensional auric biofield that we all have. And remember, this is endogenously generated, so meaning it comes from within. Thoughts are electric, they send out to the realm. Feelings are magnetic, and so the biochemistry that is associated with every experience that we have has the ability to influence the way we feel and our health in either direction. There's the most dense of these energies is our physical body, and that's really paying attention to the Newtonian's classical theory in physics. Once you start to go to that deeper layer of, as I was saying, we all emit light. Once we go to our light body and we're able to access into the fields, the invisible field where 96% of our realm exists. So why aren't you accessing that? Because that's where the answers are. Remember, you cannot create and manifest matter or things in your life through matter of what you already see and have. It's through tapping in through the invisible aspect where the secrets lie. Why do I want to share all of this? Because I believe I'm an idealist, I suppose. I believe in that our world, humanity, it can be the most amazing experience here on this planet. So why wouldn't we want to have that? So yeah, the physical body, as I say, that's the most dense of those energies. And then once you rise up through the vital body and you're connecting through the realm, that's part of the whole non-classical approach. Go even further to the spiritual mind body, and that's what they'll call the metal body. And once you access a higher level again, that's the supramental, the consciousness, the informative layer. Remember, vibration and energy, those waves, they actually contain information for us. That our DNA, which acts as a bioacoustic and biophotonic sender and receiver, it's able to decode that, which is why I keep telling myself and sharing with people, you don't actually have to try so hard in everything that you're doing. There's an element of action that has to happen, absolutely, but the more you are able to tap into those higher vibrations where all of that information is embedded, it's just on a certain radio dial, that's the supramental. And that's where you're going to find it all. And then go even higher above that to bliss body, and that's where you'll find wholeness and singularity. So our thinking and our belief system is going to impact us more than any other intervention that we have. So if you believe in that something's going to work for you, then it will. We have our placebo effects, we have our nocebo effects as well. So there's both sides of the coins there. I'll come back to that maybe on another day. But the higher frequencies, what I was talking about before, the supramental, once you're moving through from the vital to the metal body to higher up to the bliss body, and that is where you can, the information will permeate the denser layers. So if you're looking to generate change, whether it's from a physical change or from a reality change, you need to get out of the denser layers and go and elevate. This is why we say elevate and raise your vibes, and that's through whatever brings you joy. Joy is the highest of all frequencies. Love is a high frequency as well. But if we can experience and be and embody, and the longer you stay in that sensation, the longer you're going to access these higher energies. And that's where the information is. That's the field. It'll come back down. How are you going to know what's for you? Well, of course you're going to know. You're a divine, intelligent being. There's nothing really to analyze on that. Just it's a knowingness. So when you get closer to the state of nothingness, as I said before, you move through these layers, and you get to these higher layers where there's nothing exists. You're nobody, you're nothing, you're not your ego, you've left yourself behind, you lose track of time in this amazing energetic space that exists, and you almost dissolve into it. That's where if we make time, people think it's lying around and doing nothing. Trust me, it's not. It's a lot of work. If you make time to access this space of a state of nothingness, then the more information you're going to download is what I'm trying to say. So, and they know this. This is science. They're proving all of this as well. And here's a really amazing point. It's impossible for pharmaceuticals. Of course, we are very much in a pharmaceutically driven paradigm of wellness and healthcare. If I can't cut it out, if I can't burn it out, if I can't poison it, that's all our Western healthcare approach has to offer. They are not designed, they are not for your health and well-being, because there's a huge business in you being unwell. Trust me. And so we need to step out and understand that pharmaceuticals aren't able to, reach this vital body, these higher states of awareness. And if anything, they're going to suppress that and block your ability to connect with your own energetic field. So many energetic fields are closed down, and they've been closed down through traumas, they've been closed down through experience. Life just wears people down. And of course, as we're born into this space, none of us are taught much about our energetic bodies and the light bodies that we are. So once you start opening, as I say, once you see, you can't unsee, and you'll never go back. I can tell you that. And coming from a space of where I was burned out and set into a very, very toxic spin from a very young age, and that kind of ended up just snowballing in a way, I suppose. So I've seen the other side, and to now be able to understand more about connecting with consciousness, connecting with your soul, and bringing this fragmented soul that happens to us. You know, we have things that happen, and they really do. They energetically disrupt, and of course there becomes a distortion then in your own soul frequency. So we lose our way. We're not really sure why we're here. We're all here for a purpose. Choose your purpose well, right? Choose wisely, is what I was told recently. So let's continue on this journey of light circulatory system and the concepts that quantum healing encompasses, and also what the Taoist medicines, the ancient wisdoms, have known for many, many years. So our biofield information, which is multidimensional energy, is a hyperfield, and it permeates and organizes the subatomic and the atomic, molecular, cellular, and organic processes through varied, subtle, energetic interactions, and that they can be through the classical, non-classical, and the quantum as well. There's multiple studies, huge research into how energies and subtle energies impact our experience here, including healing. And our inner world is as real as the outer world. And as I mentioned before, your inner world will reflect. It's the inner world. When you stop responding to your outer world and you start taking control of your inner world, watch the outer world change. And as it does, one of the keys is to be able to, I always say, I see a universe, I can see the mechanisms, I see the wheels turning. I know that change is that I've changed the dial. I'm in a different frequencies, and different experiences are going to come in based on changing and being mindful of thoughts, and being aware of my state of being throughout the day, and holding a higher vibration, and not letting circumstances or things not knock me in or take me out, shall we say, so that I'm now in a state of lower vibration, which is not where I want to be. So that's through our inner world, and you can reshape your reality, as I've described, through meditative states, through even just conscious awareness, and being able to become the observer in the world. Now, you can't become an observer in the world if you're in a state of fight, flight, fright. It's impossible. And the reason it's impossible is because you're so busy we're wired for survival. So the body's, the survival software program's running, and it's about keeping you safe. And from a physiological perspective, all of your vision becomes very tunnel vision. So you end up, just seeing through here, unable to observe and see a bigger picture. And therefore, our choices become a lot more limited as well. It's all a perception, of course. So you can reshape your reality through meditative and knowledge of the inner world and the inner mechanics. So as I mentioned, what do? Pay attention to your thoughts, be attentive to your dreams. One of the tips that I give people before, and it works, and if you're not dreaming, you need to get in touch, because dreaming is indicative of our brainwaves reaching a certain state, which is, the normal restorative process of the body. So dreams are important. And if before you go to bed, just as you're going into that lull, as you're about to kind of doze off, if you can remind yourself, please show me what I need to see. please shed light on whatever's happening in your life, and then be conscious of the dreams that you're having, because within that there will lie a lot of answers. Some believe as a dream state, you know, our physical body's here, but we're out in another parallel realm. I think that's what happens. And so look at what's going on in your dreams. So be aware and attentive of your dreams, of your unconscious being. As I said, when you when your attention drifts off and you're going into autopilot is a program you need to be very aware of, is running 95% of the time. So what patterns are whirring away in the background when you aren't paying attention? So they'll be based on our seed patterns that were imprinted and coded in us when we were younger. As I said, every experience has an energetic patterning. It's all through, that's how we experience the world, through vibration and energy alone. So if those subconscious patterns have become incredibly strong, then they will be driving your reality as well. Whilst you're paying attention, you can override that and stay in the presence. But as you drift off, like I said, it's those patterns. So bring them to the surface and figure out which ones don't serve you. And demagnetize from them. Cut the cords, do whatever ritual that you need to do. Time is just a construct that we have generated. It's a program within the program. There's a purpose to it, yes. However, past, present, future is happening simultaneously. So if you want to hurry up a process on something, the only thing, it's a limiting belief if you think it's going to take you years to get over something. No, you can cut that cord straight away. Again, beliefs and values. Hello, Sally. I'm so glad you're dropping in. I will upload it onto my YouTube channel as well. I got brave and decided I would put my geek out to the world. All right, so the more skilled you become at mastering your thoughts and your belief system and your unconscious processing, the more potential you have to maintain health, to be able to manifest and generate. You know, I am a manifesting generator, and you all have that ability to do that as well. We can manifest whichever reality, whichever experience we want to have. Again, choose wisely. So an integrative doctor, for those who are out there seeking health and wellness and optimal well-being, and who isn't at the moment with what's going on in the world, but from an integrative doctor perspective, which is the PhD I am currently immersed in, you know, our thinking, we must be aware of the process of thinking. We must consider the unconscious. We have to appreciate conflicts and how do people deal with them, and then also this social fabric of collective, that we are all connected. You know, when I've done releases on people, because often when you're looking at health and wellness, or somebody trying to improve whatever condition it is that they are suffering with or dealing with, there's a hierarchy within the body, and emotions rule everything. And so if there's an emotional block that's trapped in the nervous system, because remember there's two systems within the body that have a memory. One's the nervous system, because we're just software programs, and then also the other is the immune system as well. And so they learn, and they will hold memories of, and that serves a fabulous purpose, unless it's one that's driving a biochemical soup of, you know, stress hormones, for example, over a long term. That's no good for us and will lead to severe destruction of all tissue. And so when we're around, when I've worked with people, that's where I was going. I was like, where was I going with that? So when I have worked with people and realize there's an energetic, an emotional block going on, it'll often mirror in with their partner as well. So if it's a husband and wife, or it could be a mother-daughter, or, you know, an interaction within your familial circles. They say birds of a feather, right? Well, from an energetic perspective, this is why we respond to and connect with people that are on the same vibe, or on the same mindset, because a mindset, let's just break that one down. A mindset, well, the body becomes the mind after a while. And so, we become entrained in that vibrational aspect of life, and so we need to be well aware of it. And if you're seeing a holistic therapist or doctor and they are not considering those or discussing those, then they're not truly holistic. So, but they do exist out there. Indeed. All fields are expansions. I just want to make sure. Okay, this could just go on forever, couldn't it? This is just so fascinating. So all fields are expansions and expressions of light, basically. So it's all about light. It comes down to light and waves and energies and particles and energy vortexes, basically. All fields are expansions, of course, and expressions of light. And the more quantum realm, those higher vibes, those subatomic layers, are more and more subtle to the changes in energy. So that's almost that ripple effect that you're wanting to access. As I said, you're not going to change physical through physical. That's an old school approach. It doesn't work. And so if you're looking at really bringing in changes, you've got to access the higher fields of information. And when you can do that, here's the cool thing. You actually have the capacity to generate your own avatar. As I mentioned at the start, we're just projections. We're projections here in the simulation. It's a simulated reality. So choose your avatar. You could be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be, who everyone thought you were 10 years ago. And that's how we do step in and we evolve all the time. As long as it's true to you, as long as it's true to your soul's purpose, and nobody knows what that is more than what you do. And there's a knowingness. It's not through, of course, we've got the third eye, we're able to access, we'll be able to see, but it's through the heart space, it's through the heart field where this is really felt, because that's our connection to this a massive web, this worldwide, this universe-wide web. So you dub, not the dub. Curb negative thinking and behavior is a tip I have down here as well, as that really feeds into these seed patterns that some are great, some we need to hold on to because they're positive. It's those ones that are not serving us any longer that we need to give the flick. So this may interest you. As much as you can generate a change in your future, right, through accessing these higher realms, because time is a construct and doesn't really exist, you can also rewrite your past. And you're going, hang on a minute, can you? But can you really? Of course you can. You can do that through conscious meditation and transcending the mind so that you can access this deeper reality that exists, like I've said, where there's no time, there's no space. And I feel this is really the essence of how we demagnetize ourselves from inherited traumas or inherited coding, right? So what came down from your mum, from your grandmum, whatever it is, and everybody that's to do with your existence in this realm. We can, through this conscious meditation, tap in and, as I said, demagnetize from an experience or one that's been handed down that wasn't ours at all, because they will ripple effect through your existence, without a doubt. Now, if you can go into the past and you can access this, because we know you can, then not only can you heal your past, but you actually bring healing into your future and to anybody that is entangled in your energetic field. Yeah, absolutely. If I go walking with my dogs, here's an example. If I go walking with the dogs, say out into the bush, or there's a really crazy cemetery here up in Auckland that I've frequented a couple of times. And I remember there's such a soup of energy and energetics there. And so I remember to cleanse my own auric field as I enter and as I leave as well, because we do pick up those energies, as I said before, those subtle changes at that subatomic level. All that holds is information, and it gets entangled within our own electromagnetic web, and it does impact our life. So, and I guess that comes down to, as I've become older, you start to really appreciate when the degree that we become entangled with as a person's biofield through sexual interactions, and how, choose wisely. All right, so it's those subconscious patterns, how they react and influence the outcome of your behavior. So I'm going to jump to a little bit on the light circulatory system, because I will come back to that. So consciousness and quantum information processing and its relation to this light circulatory system, or what they name the medicine of light, is well studied. And this is really coming out from a paper that I've been reading by Curtis and Her, TAC 2004. If you're interested in the link, I can let you know. And basically they are really stating, I mean, it's 2004, what are we, 2021, and we're still struggling on the uptake of this information filtering into our Western Newton's approach, physical approach to healthcare. As I said before, you can't change physical by physical. You just can't. And this is where energetic medicines and frequencies are seriously the medicine of the future, yet we're still dragging the chain. And the only reason we're dragging the chain is because of money. As if everybody understood their innate ability to self-restore, to be able to create an experience in this realm, then there would be no pharmaceutical industry. There would be Western crisis management, absolutely, Western crisis management healthcare we need. If you've had an accident, you've split your leg open, you need to go to the hospital, get that stitched up. Yes, absolutely. And hallelujah for that invention. However, they are not here to maximize and optimize chronic health issues, for example. I don't have to point that out to many of you. We know there's been very little talk about how we can improve our health and wellness in the middle of this pandemic. So biological science has been slow in the uptake of the notion that matter is a crystallized form of light, and failing to appropriate the implications of quantum physics and attempting to abstract bodies from their greater matrix of energy. Again, if we can encourage and empower and impart this knowledge of as many people as possible, then we're able to really create a lot more independence in our experience here. So another mode beyond all known modes of energy transmission and communication within the body exists. So we talk about our known circulatory systems. We have the blood, we have the lymphatic, we have the nervous system. Now, they are what we call the three musketeers in my realm. If one's impacted, the other's going to be impacted also. All communication's done through the nervous system, 100%. And then the blood is like, the blood system or the cardiovascular system is like the oil of your engine. And you want to be, how many people change out their oil in their car all the time? Heaps of people, because you don't want to be running shitty oil through your engine. It corrodes it, right? It'll break it down. Same thing with our blood system, which is why they pay so much attention to the pH balance, because you can't afford to have a slightly acidic blood network as well. Just think about what acid does in the body. It corrodes. And so what really creates this beautiful, nice, clean blood that's able to bring through all the nutrients, the blood cells, transport whatever needs to go to whatever areas in the body, the lymphatic system is in charge of that, essentially. So you have these known circulatories within the system, yet what we don't talk about is the light circulatory system within our physical body. Unless you're really going into more of the traditional ancient wisdom teachings, for example, acupuncture. So I have a postgrad in acupuncture, and I've been very fascinated with the energetics through the meridians and through the body. However, frequencies is the frequency therapy I've found is more superior to the acupuncturing personally, but I still do use those techniques as well. So beyond the known circulatories, as I said, the blood, the lymphatic, and the nervous, we have a light circulatory system, and that's recent studies exist, and they are suggesting an entire body distinct from the chemical body interpenetrates it and exists within our physical body. So that's our light body, as I talked about before, and that's the light body, the electromagnetic body, and it's our light body. Here's the fun stuff. It's the light body that is the vehicle of conscious projection. So it's through this light body you can access these in the invisible realm where all possibilities exist. Don't know why that wouldn't excite anybody. That would excite everybody, right? So the basis of life exists and is located within this biophotonic electron excited states. So as I said, we're a light body. You are a light being. You are more nothing than something. So tap into that and tap into the energy that you're emitting, or the state of being that you are spending time in, because it's through this light body and getting coherence with the system. So getting the system out of a stressed state and having it more coherent, more balanced, more at peace, then the biological systems will kind of function, optimally. It's like a laser light show that goes on. So holistic medicine is really compelled to include the subtle consciousness, this vital body, and the energy fields that interpenetrate us as human beings and connect us through this World Wide Web and communicate to form the totality that we call a human being. We're more than the physical. And I'll just finish up with this. Consciousness is the source and ground of all that appears. It is a hidden variable in the cosmos that in varying degrees directs and participates in all quantum events. I like to say, if you can learn how to quantum leap or to round jump, it's much easier than what you think. It's just tuning things a little bit, tuning that dial to the vibration of the experience you wish to have. Consciousness is the core reality holding the entire multidimensional universe together, and it is a unified field. This is why it cannot not deliver. So be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of those subconscious patterns. And it's within the consciousness, within our consciousness, that we can find the cause of our disease and the source of our healing as well. And I think that maybe that could be about where I wanted to finish it up today, because you could just go on about this, right? And the more I start to learn and the more I start to appreciate and see the world as a simulation and observe with curiosity experiences you have, you will find you are provided everything that you need. And I'll give you a little story to finish up. This morning, I took my dogs to the park, as I do, and I had my keys with me, and I didn't have a jacket, so I was just holding on to them. And of course, walked around the park and got to pick up the poo from the dogs. And I sat on a bench, and I completely forgot that I sat on a bench because I needed to message somebody, and I must have placed my keys down. Got up, walked home, didn't even think anything of it. Now, this is right in the central, park in Auckland. And I didn't realize I'd lost my keys until my Dixie man hurt his leg. And I thought, I'll get the horse frequencies or the animal frequencies out of my car, because I was sitting in my car. And I went to get the keys and I didn't have them. And that's when I went, oh no, I've lost the keys. So I traced my tracks back around Albert Park and exactly where I'd been. And done this kind of full circle, except for I didn't complete the rest of the circle, which is important. So I got talking to this guy and I said, look, I've lost my keys. And I said, I really believe in the good in people and that somebody's maybe handed them in if they found them. I said, but where would you think that you would put them if you found someone's keys? And he said, well, he had lost his keys and his house keys, and he found them in the grass where he had dropped them. So I thought, well, yes, I know I've been around. And he said, but maybe, he said, probably, someone would just leave it on the seat. So I went back around the way that I came and I still couldn't find them. And then I remembered I'd sat on this seat. And it was funny to me because he had told me through his language, and this is where I really want you to extract out. Don't think nothing of it, because every interaction is a sign through your own projection of your reality. He had literally told me without even knowing where my keys were, because that's exactly where I found them, on the seat, on a park bench. And so I had to laugh at myself when and observe that and go, you guys are funny. So the reality you're creating and that you're experiencing is a reflection of your inner world. And yes, you can totally change that. And the key thing is to not get knocked back when you have events that occur in your life that do create disappointment or whatever sensation it is that arises. And to remember to come back to your state of being, because your state of being is really the only thing you have full control of, and that is communicating in this field of information constantly. So access it, tap it, change it, stay in it, and then just watch things come in. It can't not. That's the realm we live in. So, back at you. We may be digging a little bit more tomorrow as I step in and pattern it. Hit me up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel because, yeah, I'd really like that. And always wishing you love and light and high vibes, man. If you're in Auckland, hit me up. Personal message to me and come and see this divine space that we are transforming currently. Ciao.